All right, welcome to the Motivated Manhood Podcast. I am Michael Perkins. This is Alan Espinoza, and we have intern Andrew here with us today.
Hi.
Hello.
This is a podcast where it's everything men. We talk about everything that guys go through, deal with, relationships, friendships.
We got a good age range, too. We got a young guy, got a younger or a youngish guy.
Thank you.
Youngish, and then you got the old guy here, which I never used to be the old guy. I always used to be the young guy. Now I'm the old guy.
I have the most gray hair, though.
You do have the most
You
gray
do.
hair.
Yeah.
You look the oldest. You look the worst out of all of us. Just
Thanks.
You know why?
why?
It's because he deadlifts with shoes on,
No. With socks off,
socks off.
shoes on.
Gotta get that a little
Really?
bit down. Yeah.
You take
Well, tell me more about this whole deadlifting with or without shoes. Where are you going with this?
so. Me and Michael actually had this conversation the other day.
Did we?
We did, and he proceeded to get all factual with me
Factual.
because his wife knows a lot about the subject.
Well, she is.
Well, it's a
She's
house
a
of-
doctor.
It's a house of learning doctors.
Right.
who specializes in exactly what you're talking
Human
about.
anatomy.
So
When's the last time she deadlifted?
that's 100% irrelevant.
It's all about her knowledge of the phalanges. Is that how do you say toes or is that hands?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know.
I'm not the doctor.
We're not. Come on, man.
It's a house of learning, doctor.
house of learning.
It came down to basically she said that it doesn't really help or benefit any
Okay,
manner.
so
but
Michael and I had a conversation. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
no,
Sorry.
yeah, thank you.
Go ahead.
No, but it came down to he's like, I mean, if it just comes down to that's how you feel comfortable to deadlift, he has no issue with it. But if you're doing it for the pure fact of being able to deadlift better, that's
Heavier.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
Or better. I mean, just in any way, shape, or form, if you think that it is benefiting you outside of you just feel more comfortable doing it. But if
Yeah.
you think there is a physiological benefit to deadlifting without shoes on, then you would be scientifically incorrect and very inaccurate. So that was the issue that I had, is these people that think that they are deadlifting without shoes on because it's making them do it so much better, and they're so far advanced because they're doing it, versus just, hey, no, I feel a little bit more comfortable, so I enjoy doing it this way.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of psychological games that comes with it,
Mm-hmm.
and there might be just a slight anatomical advantage to it, because they say you should always deadlift with the flattest shoes possible, right? Like
Yeah.
you have your weightlifting shoes that are elevated in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Those are for, giving you the ability to get in a deeper squat. Those are used more for, squat cleans and deep squats, make sure you get in the hole and all that stuff. Then when it comes to deadlifts, they always say you want the flattest shoe possible. Well, what's flatter than not having any shoes on at all? There's nothing more flat than that.
My flat feet.
However, I will say this. The two men in the world that have deadlifted the most is Eddie Hall, over 1,000-pound deadlift. I think it's closer to 1,100 pounds. And then
Insane.
Hafthor Bjornsson, the mountain from the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The dude's 6'7", 400 plus pounds, deadlifts with no shoes on, but the dude's pulling over 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a slight advantage in that without shoes? Possibly, but what I was getting at is, have you ever done deficit deadlifts?
No.
Where you're standing on something, let's say this is the height of that thing. If you're standing on that thing, it's harder to pull from a deficit than it is just from flat ground,
Right.
because you're
Longer
actually
distance.
you're longer distance and you're having to start in a more compromised position, so to speak, but you're also working your lower back as opposed to more of your hamstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Which you don't ever want to go like super heavy on deficit deadlifts.
Right.
Outside of like your 1 rep max. You don't want to be close to your 1 rep max doing deficit deadlifts. So I could see the elevation at which they traveled. Like if they wore a 1-inch shoe,
Mm-hmm.
those guys are looking for every possible edge that they could possibly get. Probably everything to the type of smelling salt that they use.
If you are going for the world record,
100%.
take your shoes off.
Take your shoes
Like,
off.
if that's going to
I was
benefit you.
Freaking like do something. Like
Did you watch? Have you both seen the video of Eddie Hall's deadlift?
yeah, it was nosebleed.
Yeah, it was insane.
That wasn't even his world record one though.
It wasn't.
He did that way after. Yeah,
Wow.
he did that world record one after his nosebleed.
So
But
he went even
nonetheless,
heavier after that one.
oh yeah, yeah. But nonetheless, like if you're in the gym, like everyday lifting, like I'm in agreement. Keep your shoes on, like, or do what you want. Who gives a crap at the end of the day?
Like I said, I don't care that you do it.
Yeah.
I care that you think
The reason
the reasons
why.
behind it, and
Yeah.
everybody's trying to explain to you the reasons why. Whenever they are dead wrong, whenever you have a doctor who studied this for 8 years of her life come to you and say that's inaccurate. There's
Well, hey,
nothing scientific about that.
Keep in mind, way back, we used to think that the Earth was in the very center of the solar system, and they studied it for years.
Right.
So
You gotta come at me with more than just that, okay? Like that doesn't because you're not bringing any
I agree.
substance
I
to
agree
why.
with you. I agree with you. I'm just giving you a hard time.
So you asked this morning, how'd you sleep?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you sleep last night?
Off and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things in my mind. Started a new job.
Yeah.
Gonna be in sales. So
Welcome.
Yeah.
yeah, starting out, and I'm a door-to-door salesman, so that's gonna be even more fun.
So you're pretty much a Jehovah's Witness.
That's what I was thinking. Is there any way that I can tie in spreading the word into my sales and kind of do it nonchalantly?
Words and you are
Yeah.
struggling this morning.
Just stay with your associate's degree
Hey,
words.
you guys both have coffees. Where's
Listen.
mine at?
You're not old enough to drink coffee.
Interns don't get coffee.
Exactly.
Interns are supposed to get the
get
coffee.
No, but I was trying to come
There's
up with a way.
there's always an opportunity to do it.
Right.
And I don't know that you need to come up with a way. I think it's got to be spirit led
Right.
in the moment, and if he'll provide that way if you're
Well, so far I've been
seeking it.
thinking about, regardless if I go to a door and I get someone answers and I do my whole sales pitch, and regardless whether it comes to, we start to work together and they want to buy our product, or no, thank you, not today. I could always just end it off with,
God bless you.
God bless you.
May Jesus Christ
So-
be your Lord and Savior.
So
today.
those types of things, obviously work sometimes, and I think it's a collective of different little nuggets of things. But I try my hardest in everyday conversation to be like, oh yeah, I got to head to the church later. Oh hey, I got a meeting at the church, and just bring up church and see what their response is
I
to
could
it.
start inviting people to church. Yeah.
I would. That's a quick way to,
Well, I mean, like if it ever got brought up naturally, that's another thing.
Of course. But if like Tuesday, you're planning on coming to men's group
Mhm.
Tuesday night. You're at somebody's house door knocking Tuesday afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, well, hey, I'll get this quote back to you, or I'll be looking at this. I got to run to the church. I got men's group tonight, but first thing tomorrow, I'll be looking at. That opens the door to see what their response is, and based on what they say, because I've had so many conversations. Oh, where do you go to church?
Right.
And then that opens up a whole new, that allows you to have any kind of conversation down that path that you want to.
I'm glad we brought that, not to cut you off, but I'm glad
But
we
you did anyway.
But I'm
yeah.
going to cut you off.
Yeah.
The thing is too, with me being door-to-door sales, the first thing that I feel like will really affect a sale is your appearance, because people are constantly making judgments of people.
That's the first. Yeah, that's one of the
So,
first things people look at.
When I first got into real estate, and I've always had relatively nice vehicles, inexpensive, but I've never had like the old beat up, anything.
So what I drive, yeah.
I wouldn't say your car's. I'm talking like legit,
Well,
like 20-year-old,
yeah.
beat up, rusted out, clunking, making noises.
You can see the road
smoking.
on the
Right.
board.
So one of the things is in real estate was, okay, if as a client, if I'm going to let you sell my house, it's a $500,000, $700,000 house, whatever it is, you're not successful enough to have a car that like you can trust that gets you from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
Like how good of a salesman are you? So that the judgment of appearance on salespeople, I think, is a little tough.
Absolutely.
And so they, even if you don't want to be materialistic, you don't care about having a nice car, you don't care about having the nicest clothes and dressing the nice and all of that, that appearance, people will judge that based on and judge your success based on that appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you don't have to dress all kinds of great,
Bless you.
but I wouldn't wear what you're wearing right now.
Well,
either.
no. Yeah.
But it says Three Oaks Worship on it.
Your mic's not on.
But it says Three Oaks Worship on it.
The hoodie's not as bad as the sweatpants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just not supposed
Are
to
you-
know what his bottoms are.
Yeah.
He's wearing bottoms, I promise. Alan, on the other
Are-
hand,
I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a dress code for my internship. I wasn't notified of this.
Well,
I'll do
consider
better
this-
next time.
Consider this your notification.
All right. Is this my like write up that I'm getting?
Something like that.
it's a
Something
verbal.
like that? Okay.
It's
Verbal. No, yeah. I mean, I've definitely put a lot of thought into. Now, this is my first time going into sales.
Well, hold on. You put a lot of thought into something?
I know. We had
No
that
way.
conversation about me overthinking. I got it.
Yeah.
No, but I put a lot of thought
Paralysis
into
by analysis.
put a lot of thought into what I should wear while I'm going out. Now, obviously, I was like, I've got this nice dress shirt.
All right. So, what did you make a decision? You put a lot of thought, but did you make a decision? What are you going to start wearing?
Jeans and a polo.
Jeans and a polo.
Yeah.
Do you have any khakis?
Yes.
You should wear khakis.
Well, see, this was the other thing is like I have a nice dress shirt and nice like khaki pants, dress pants, and some nice dress suit. I can't even
Dress
talk.
shoes?
Yeah, dress shoes. Thank you. But I'm gonna be on roofs and dealing with
Yeah, you
chalk
gotta-
and walking around, and so I don't want to damage those nice clothes that I already have.
Let's take
Jeans
some.
make sense.
Let's take some bets.
Okay.
I don't bet. I'm a good Christian.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you start on Monday or Tuesday?
Monday I go out and like kind of shadow somebody, do a little bit of knocking on my
first
own.
on your own.
That should be Tuesday. Yeah.
All right. So today's Saturday. We'll be back together again next Saturday.
Oh yeah.
So between now and then, on your own, not shadowing somebody, how many roofs do you think you'll get on?
Oof.
We had this
Do I-
conversation yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said if by 60 knocks, if he's not,
Well, that
if
was
he
a
doesn't
hypo-
have a sale
That was a hypothetical.
by 60 knocks, he's out of
That
there.
wasn't like an actual like
Oh.
by 60 knots. I'm not gonna.
I wanted a real number. What's the number?
That's thinking too
How
much.
long are you
man.
gonna give this thing?
That's thinking too much.
How long are you gonna
You
give
just
this
gotta-
thing a shot?
How long?
Yeah. How many months? How many years?
How many months? I was thinking like 2 weeks.
You give it 2 weeks.
No, I'm just messing with you. No, I wanted to give some solid effort at it, and so, I mean, at least I'd say 2 months is a good time frame to see, if I can make any progress. Because if there's somebody at the job who had poor communication skills and poor salesman skill, like never done this in his life before, that is younger than me, can get his first contract within 3 weeks. If I can't do that in 2 months, what does that say?
You're not as good as that guy.
So going back to my question.
Yeah.
But before we sit down again, before we record our next,
How many roofs am I gonna have?
how many roofs are you going to, like, people are going to say, yes, I want you to evaluate my roof. Give
My
me
goal?
a free estimate.
Hey, you got a cross on the outside. Come on up on my roof.
My goal, 3 to 4. Realistically, maybe 1.
Okay.
Maybe, and that's a strong maybe. But
He tried selling me yesterday.
Me too.
It,
Asked me for referrals.
It didn't
I said,
work.
I don't know anybody. I don't
It
even
didn't
like
work?
people.
I
Didn't
thought I
work.
had you thinking for a minute. You
He
said
said he had you. Look,
just
line
for
sinker.
a little bit. It seemed like it. There was a point when I had said something to you and you didn't really say anything back. So
I mean,
'cause I was ignoring
he
you.
might
I was
be
Yeah.
working.
Okay.
He might be really good at this because, I mean, sales is kind of in his bloodline. With your Uncle John and your Uncle Mark. I mean,
and my dad, yeah,
Your dad did sales?
he sold cars.
Did he?
Yeah,
Nice.
he started out detailing them though.
Fair enough.
And worked his way up, and
It's in
then
the bloodline.
yeah.
I think everybody's in sales. That's what a
Well,
former boss of mine, the vice president of business development over at MMC, He would always say, even though you're not in business development, you're in business development. Whether you know it or not, whether you recognize it or not, you're in business development. You're in sales. And you are, in a sense, because you're always representing a brand. You're always...
Well, this is something that I brought up to you guys yesterday, I believe, is there a skill that somebody can't learn? Is there
Like what kind of skill?
Well, do you believe anybody could learn how to be a salesman and effectively, or at least somewhat proficiently, do it?
No.
I think everybody could learn the skills to be a salesman. Whether they can execute on the skills is a whole different story.
Right.
Like I talked about with the piano.
Right.
I know every note. I know how to make every chord. I know how to, and I'll spend hours at it. I'm just not fluid, and I can be, but it's very literal. It's I play it exactly how it is, but I can't go off and do my own thing.
Right.
In the same way, people can literally learn, the yes and no, the right and wrong, the up and down. They can learn the facts of whatever skill you're talking about, but executing it, like Alan said, is extremely different.
And that's why I'm saying, like, when you guys were saying, like, how long are you going to give a shot at this? They gave empirical numbers as to what, like, should be happening with how many, doors you've knocked on, how many people you've talked to, how many roofs you've walked, to how many contingencies you've signed.
Is there a correlation between the more you knock, the better results you have?
I would say
based
so.
on those empirical numbers.
I mean, I would say so. Yeah. It kind of just comes down to the more you knock, the more chances, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a numbers game, brother.
What's the magic number for knocks?
So they want us doing 25 knocks a day, but they're saying 21 knocks should lead to being able to talk to 9 people, which should lead to 3 of those people allowing you to walk on their roofs, which should eventually lead to 1 contingency, which, then leads to a contract and possibly a contract. But so what I'm saying, that's why I was saying, if in 60 knocks, I couldn't even get 1 contingency, that it seems like there's something wrong.
And that's what I told him, basically in 3 days.
Well, that's why.
If you hit that,
that's you're saying in 3 days. Like, I mean, I could, if I really tried at it, I could probably hit 40 knocks in 1 day.
Yeah, so even less.
Right.
2 days you can make that
a day and a
determination.
half, yep.
I mean, the potential's there. That's the beautiful thing about sales is, and we talked about, like, sometimes, like, people get into sales management positions, they end up making less than their people.
Yeah.
But the opportunity's there. It's what you make of it.
I'm not gonna lie, like,
it's all on your shoulders.
I really do feel like I'm going to make this work. Like, I'm going to be able to get contingencies and contracts. And
why do you feel that way?
I just have that confidence. I personally...
Sure, but is it blind confidence, or what are you basing it off of?
I might be blind confidence, but sometimes people need that to succeed.
Sure. And I hope you do. I'm not asking.
Right.
I want it, but I'm just trying to
I
find
didn't know
out.
there was any other kind of confidence. Been blind my whole life. Cool. What are we grinding gears to now? What do we want to talk about now?
Accountability?
Accountability or regret? Which one?
Flip a coin.
We're talking accountability.
All right.
All right.
What does accountability mean to you, Andrew?
Accountability mean to me?
Yeah.
Man.
Can I answer it for you?
No, let him
okay,
give him
go
a
ahead.
second.
I thought you just asked what it meant to me.
You're taking too long.
Well, I mean, there's multiple ways to it, but I guess when it comes down to it is being able to stay true to your word.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
I know you are. I know where it's coming from.
I read something. It was a meme that was going around, or a photo that was going around. We'll get back to this.
Yeah.
But it was talking about, being a good person and doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I'll tie this to accountability, because I think accountability is being held responsible for the actions, things that you say, things that you do, responsibilities that you have. But they were talking about the shopping cart. Have you guys seen or heard about this? that returning the shopping cart is the one thing that you can do that will show whether you are a good or a bad person. Because returning the shopping cart, we can all agree that returning it to where it's supposed to go is right.
In the cages,
Yeah,
not
in the
up on a curb and
correct.
median.
But they have spaces for a reason. They have the cages for a reason, right?
Right.
So it is very clear that there's a right and wrong place. You don't just leave it in the parking spot. You don't put it up on the curb, but you actually return it. This is the one thing that you do because you're supposed to do it, but that there's zero repercussion whatsoever if you don't do it. You're not going to get fined. You're not going to get arrested. You're not going to get anything else. There's really nothing else that has the lack of repercussions the same way as returning a shopping cart.
Right.
And so anyway, I think, holding yourself accountable to those standards, the shopping cart standard, if you will,
Oh yeah,
of
You return your
it's
shopping cart?
right. I do every time.
every time.
Nice.
And I can't stand people that don't.
I ride mine into the gate.
Blows my mind.
So much fun.
And you know what else? I'm teaching my kids to be like, Daddy, that person didn't put their card away.
Yeah. So
And it's like, yeah.
but you're holding yourself accountable to that standard of my mom's not going to come give me a whooping. I'm not going to get fined. I'm not going to get told I can't shop here anymore. Like, there's nothing that's going to happen if you leave it up on the curb. So that's not the right thing to do.
So we'll get back to accountability.
Okay.
But I do want to say something about the grocery store carts. Aldi has it figured out. Have you ever been to Aldi?
Yeah.
They have the quarter method.
Yeah.
You don't ever see an Aldi grocery cart out in the middle of anywhere.
People want that quarter,
They
man.
want that quarter back. They value it's just a quarter, but they still value it enough to know that the rule is if you want to return your cart, return it to this spot, get your quarter back. And people have their Aldi quarter probably sitting in their car,
Oh, yeah.
their cup holder.
So the former GM of the local Aldi here is a client of mine. And he and I were talking about that one day. The only reason for that is they did everything they could. Now, this is getting into business. We'll get back to accountability. But from a business standpoint, they do everything to cut down expense, to cut down cost.
Yep.
So what they do is they don't have to pay somebody now to go get those carts.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, it has nothing to do with whether a cart's left in the middle of the parking lot or not.
Right.
It has to do with the fact that they don't have to pay somebody now.
Right.
And then
Which then that savings gets passed on to the consumer.
correct. And then the items too, if you ever look, they're still left in the box.
Yeah.
Like the whole case is just set up on the shelf, and then you take what you want out of it. That's a time saver.
Oh, absolutely.
That the people that stock the shelves there. So now they are having to have 3 people stock shelves instead of 5,
Yep.
or whatever. So everything is about just cutting down that little bit. It's like deadlifting without your shoes on, right? It
Every
cuts
little
down that.
Well, then also you have to bag your own groceries
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So they run it's a lean way of running, and you can equate it to like lean manufacturing or lean construction. It's very they run very lean, but they're very
But it's
efficient.
great stuff. I mean, it's quality.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everything. So, but back to
Well,
accountability.
real quick, I want to say my 2 cents on the
on
carts.
Aldi, we
Yeah.
talked about grocery stores. I gotta say what I want to say.
No, I saw this this I guess influencer. He's on TikTok and I guess has a YouTube.
Is it Michael?
No.
Oh.
He goes by.
You don't follow my TikTok?
I don't. The Chinese use it to spy on us. No. He's called Cartnarks, and his whole purpose is he's made.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, he's
dude.
made magnets and stuff, and he
Yeah.
goes around to
Oh.
all these local grocery stores, and he watches for people to like not put their cart back, and then he'll go like, "Whoop whoop, Cartnarks, man, put your cart back." And
I've seen him. I thought it was entertaining at first, but then I got to thinking, if somebody put something on my car or my truck, I'd be pissed.
he'll put your cart back.
But they don't have the right to do that, though. That's the thing. I have the right to leave my cart
Right,
wherever
I
I
know.
want to,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right? I have that right.
Uh-huh.
You don't have the right to touch my vehicle.
No, I agree.
And so I'd probably shoot you. No, I won't shoot anybody. But like I would get out and I would not let it go on nearly as long. Now, I know it's entertainment. He cuts out a lot of the ones, but but he would do that once to me, and then that would be absolutely the end of it. So
I wonder how many people he's met like that.
I'm sure a lot, but
Yeah.
you figure, you're seeing such a small portion, just like our podcast, we cut down, to fit into the hour or whatever. So there's probably way more.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I say we should have the life behind the podcast segment.
Yeah.
So talking about accountability,
Right.
last week Michael and I on the podcast talked about like organization and one of the companies that I went and visited and doing some consulting for, just one of the things that they did was really awesome for one of their employees. And I was just looking at like Buc-ee's, but like getting back to, we'll come back to the Buc-ee's thing. But the accountability piece was, you weren't here last week.
Right.
What happened? We're holding you accountable right now.
Okay.
Michael sent you a text.
Uh-huh.
He said, "See you on the podcast at 6 a.m."
Right. So
Got no response.
So, we do this every Saturday, right?
We're getting ready to hear an excuse.
No.
Yes, we do this every Saturday at
every
6. So there shouldn't even be a
Right.
text that has to go out unless we're not going to be able to make it.
We don't do a podcast on a Saturday, which had happened the previous Saturday. And then I said, well,
Which we communicated because I had a family emergency out of town.
It's understandable. And I said, are we doing the next one? And then there was, we got to figure out some things. But yeah, probably. Okay. Then I get a text at, was it like 9 something at night about be up at 6 a.m. for this podcast.
Yeah.
I was already out, man.
Were you?
Yeah.
So your alarm should have been set for 5 a.m. to get up and come to the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
What time did you go to bed last night? 11?
Mm-hmm.
You made it. You're here.
Yeah.
You were already sleeping last week when I sent that text?
No. Okay.
You were out?
I was out and about. I should say that.
Oh, he was out getting drunk.
Yeah, it was partying.
Partying.
And
I was at a friend's house.
Blowing stuff up?
Video gaming.
Oh.
You
What game
know,
were you
as
playing?
all the cool kids do nowadays.
So you saw the text though.
Right.
So I'm going to hold you accountable. If you
I
saw the text,
I saw the text.
you should have replied.
You want me to reply at 1 a.m.?
Yes.
1 a.m.
No, what time did you see the text at?
1 a.m.
Yeah, reply at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Because
can't make it.
I don't want to.
when
Well,
we
I didn't
get
want to
up,
disturb your sleep.
I'll be awake at 1 a.m. I
Okay.
got kids.
and I get up at 4:30 to come here,
Okay,
so
I'll text you guys.
see it at 4:30, and I'll know. Oh, hey, we don't have to. The reason I didn't get you a coffee this week is I got you one last week and it went cold. So,
Did you? Oh,
No,
that actually
absolutely
hurts.
not. That is not true.
Wow.
But that's the communication though,
Right.
And I know that you're trying to twist it and turn it around on us. We do this every week. If we did not, we would have let you know just like the week before.
Okay.
So that's the first thing, and then
communication is a big
in
factor.
communication.
Yeah.
So then, what about the other day? You said that you were going to come to the office and do some work,
Uh-huh.
and then you
Between
didn't.
7:30 and 8.
Right.
And then I called you at 7:30, and you weren't even awake.
Right.
I woke you up. You answered.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Felt like having my dad there.
But then, because I thought I was coming to
Edward?
Pick me up at the what?
at the
It was
car,
like having Edward there.
No.
Oh.
so I thought-
Having Edward there is, I hear feeling around my door.
Michael, time to wake up. Or,
Andrew.
Andrew, time to wake up.
let's get you some fake doorknobs. Put them around the house.
Oh, we're jerks. All right.
No, but
What
yeah,
happened?
you thought
What happened?
you're gonna have to pick me up from
Well,
the,
the plan was you were going
Discount
to go
Tire.
to Discount Tire.
right.
And then I was gonna pick
Michael
you up.
Michael was going to pick you up,
Right.
and then he calls you at 7:30. And
When I was supposed to pick
woke
you
you up.
Was it 7:30?
Yeah.
I feel like it was sooner.
Well, it may have been 7. Whatever.
7:25, I think, is
Okay.
when.
Pull up your phone
Maybe.
records. All right. So he calls you.
Right, and I told him, yeah. So change of plans. Mom actually needs her car today, so I'm not taking it to Discount Tire. And he said, okay, well, I'll see you
In
later.
a little bit.
No, you didn't say in a little bit. You did not say
whether
anything.
you said later a little bit, the commitment was
You still said that you were
7:30 to
coming.
8.
It wasn't contingent on taking your mom's car.
No, I know.
You said I'll be at the office between
Mm-hmm.
7:30 and 8, and then after that it was, oh, Michael will pick you up, okay, and then after that it was, I don't need to take my mom's car. So there was never a, I'm not coming into the office.
The point we're trying to drive across here is the taking of the car or not taking of the car
No, I got it. He just said that.
doesn't dictate
No, I got it. He just said that.
what 7:30 to 8 it means. But there was no communication of, hey, I'm not having to bring the car in. I'll be up there at 9 now or like 10.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay. So communication's the issue.
communication's huge.
Okay.
And the only reason why we're harping on you, I know we're giving you a hard time and you feel attacked right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel.
No, yeah, definitely.
Well, let me hold on before you,
especially
before
on
you
a
say that.
podcast that other people
Okay.
are going to watch.
Before you
I feel
say
like this
that,
is
let me
more
go in. What about
private.
those other two
Oh.
times about I scheduled you to usher? You said yes, I will
thought
be
we
there.
resolved that. Whoa, what's
And-
going on, man?
No,
It's
no,
not
no,
very
I-
Christian-like.
I'm bringing up the example because it's
Mm-hmm.
still an ongoing thing, right? So I'm cool. Like,
What do you mean it's an on? Oh, you mean not
like
about the usher?
communication? Yeah, not the ushering necessarily, except for the fact that even last week you were scheduled, but you never responded either way in planning center.
So I think the whole point to this, and yes, we're on a podcast doing this, but
Yeah.
the
I
whole
don't feel
point,
that's
the whole
appropriate,
point of
but-
it is number one, everything we do on this podcast is going to be real and honest.
Right.
Okay. There are going to be some tough things that you have to go through as a man in life
Mm-hmm.
and be like held accountable for. What we're trying to drive home here is if something changes or doesn't work out, is to have that communication, be like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it at this time. Cool. Let us know. Just the biggest thing is just communicate.
Okay.
And that's where we as brothers hold each other accountable, right? We hold each other accountable. Yes, it's on a podcast. Forget the cameras. This is us just talking.
Right.
We just happen to have some cameras on recording a conversation.
And there might be like 6 people that actually watch it. So.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well,
Mom.
I'm just saying. I was just gonna.
My mom, my dad, your mom, your dad.
My
his
mom and dad are going to watch it. They don't even know what YouTube is.
I-
But we're not doing this to make you like a bad person or anything like on a podcast. That's
Yeah.
not our intent.
And we don't think that you are a bad person or anything. We just want to 100% of the time.
You just want to
since-
make me grow. I get it.
correct. 100% of everything that Alan and I have ever done since you started coming here under our tutelage has been to try to mentor you and explain to you how the world works and how,
Right.
to make you the best Andrew that you can be. And the reason that we're bringing it up, and I kind of chuckled yesterday a little bit, because I knew we were going to talk about, I didn't know to what depth, I didn't know,
Yeah.
but I asked you a
we
question
didn't know we were going to
yesterday.
throw atomic bombs on you.
But I asked you a question yesterday, and this is why I think this conversation is extremely important. Is I asked you, I said, why do you think those salespeople didn't work? And you said communication, and then I said, well, how do you think your communication is? And you gave me a one-word answer. You said, I think it's solid. And then I kind of I was like, I want to dive into some stuff, but then he had to go to a meeting, and I had to also leave shortly later. And I was like, it's
I'll
good.
save it for the
we
podcast.
need more time. Well, I just didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
But to really dive into it at the time. But that's why I brought that up. Is you said a very important part of your job is going to be communication.
Mm-hmm.
Then when asked how your communication is, you said solid. And then we've been able to bring up, a half dozen examples of where it has lacked, where you could do better at it, right? And so,
Yeah.
And I would expect from you two, if I'm messing up or if I'm not communicating or if I say I'm going to do something, basically the point of accountability is you say you're going to do something and that person doesn't end up doing it. Then it's our job as brothers to come up and say, hey, dude, what's up? You said you were going to do this. You didn't do it. I was depending on you to do that. What happened?
and the important part in good relationships too is whenever bringing correction, I expect you guys to correct me in the same way.
I honestly feel like I'll tell you after the podcast. No, that's something I'm having to learn with Madison, my girlfriend, is like what issues to bring up that I actually need to bring up versus what are just let it go, man.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. It's not worth
Right.
getting a small fight to turn into a big fight. So that's been very eye-opening for me.
I almost can guarantee that I'm speaking for both of us, but there's even now after 7.5 years of marriage and 10
Yeah. 10,
10 years of
coming
marriage,
up on 10.
even now we're still we'll get into arguments and we're like, man, we really should not have brought that up. Like it wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's not something that you're going to learn and master before you get married.
Oh,
and all
no.
that. You know, like it's.
I'm just saying that's something I'm now learning. Like after, we've already had some
Stupid
fights,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's funny though because now
I'm
I
gonna
get to look
say
back at it.
99% of those fights are never worth it. Like,
And they usually aren't about the core issue at hand.
Yeah.
either.
no, absolutely not.
There's something underneath that's
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
but it's still good sometimes to have those fights though, because then you grow out of it.
For sure.
So I want to get back to,
Buc-ee's.
yeah. So just to close what we're talking about on accountability, the reason why we're telling you that is because honestly, we want you to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, forget the fact that it's on a podcast. We're gonna be raw and real on this podcast. That's the way I'm gonna be.
We're going to spend our entire budget promoting this episode too, so we'll get the most views. So we might get 7 or 8 views this
7
time.
or 8
7 or
views.
8.
Yeah.
By budget, you mean like making a phone call? Hey, Mom, can you watch this? Like 4 times to get my views up?
Hey Edward, can you listen to this?
Ouch. Wow. So we're doing it from a place of love and concern and just trying to teach. And like I said, we're all accountable for something, no matter what world you're or whether it's a business world or whether it's a friendship world,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a job world, you're accountable to someone or something. So just want to drive that home. But last week we were talking about like organization, and how the one that I work with, McCorvey Sheet Metal down in Houston, they stepped up and they took care of one of their employees and put him up in a place because he's in a tight spot right now. But they put him up in a place for a month. The company's taking care of it, no questions asked, never has to repay him. But the leadership stepped up and said, we don't want one of our employees to be out on the street. You're going to be put up in a hotel for a month till we figure something out for you. And I thought that was really cool for a place that would, by definition, be a corporate setting. And they are. They're a large corporation. But then I was thinking about like Buc-ee's and what their pay is like. Have you guys ever seen their pay scales?
Mm-mm.
I've never actually been to a Buc-ee's.
I know
either.
that. I think
You've never
like,
been to a Buc-ee's? Oh my
I think I
gosh.
know like the managers make over like 6 figures a year.
Yeah, so just to give you guys an idea, first of all, their benefits, they get a 401k, 100% match up to 6%. They get 3 weeks PTO. You could use it, cash it, or roll it. You get health care. There's part-time availability. There's a $2 an hour for overnight. $2 more an hour
Shift
for
differential.
overnight. And full-time is anywhere between 30 to 50 hours. No experience necessary.
I might go work at Buc-ee's.
So cashiers, gift maintenance, warehouse, and grocery stockers make $16 an hour.
Never mind.
Food service and car wash make $19 an hour. Team leads $18 to $21. Department managers $23 to $31. Assistant GM $100K.
Mm-hmm.
Car wash manager $125K.
Mm-hmm.
Food service manager $125 to $175 plus, and a GM $150 to $225 plus for working at a convenience store. Well,
Gas
Buc-ee's
station.
Buc-ee's is so much more than that, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So
It's not a place.
you
it's a
said
home.
something when I said $16 an hour.
Yep.
I said never mind.
I wanted
You
to
said never mind.
Yep.
Okay. But what if that $16 an hour within 3 months' time leads you to a position where you're making $80,000 a year?
Depends on what I'm doing.
Why? You don't want to make $80,000 a year?
Depends on what I'm doing.
we all have some sort of college degree, right?
Mhm.
Or degrees. Is I see the potential for a general manager to make 150 to 225 without a college degree, more than likely. There's a huge potential there at Buc-ee's, is what I'm saying.
I don't disagree.
And to get in the door, you may have to start out at $16 an hour.
Yeah.
Take that to any industry. Take that to something you do want to do and that you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are high, if you're passionate about it, you'll work for pennies on the dollar
Mm-hmm.
to at least break into that industry. And that's a great mindset to have, is like, if I wanted to go, let's say, get into some industry. Let's just say construction. 'Cause
I did. My history in real estate started out.
Yeah.
I took a huge step back to make $10 an hour just to get a leasing agent position,
Right.
to then get an assistant manager, to get a manager, for them to pay for
Because
me
you
to get
saw
my real
the
estate
potential.
license. And
It led to, you saw the plan out. And I think that's what you're trying to say too, is the plan is there. Like, and we talk about, like, in your 20s, try different things, try different
Right.
jobs, and that's great. And know that majority of what you do is going to be a stepping stone. I think
My first job, I was making like 11 something dollars.
that's really good for first job.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just a
And this-
generational
yeah.
thing too.
I mean, you take into account how much school costs and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you find those things that you are doing like in your 20s, and those are like, a lot of those are the stepping stones.
Yeah.
And I want to say, this is all good conversation, whether it's heated or not.
well,
I think we got, as I'll call you guys brothers, because we are truly. I mean, we spend a lot of time together, and we
When I do show up.
we bring correction to you like a brother.
Yeah.
And
we
I
have a
would
little
hope,
brother that we looked at our mom and goes, "Why?"
I don't want him. No. But sometimes those conversations are going to be, they're hard to have.
Yeah.
But I think, and going back to like what we have been experiencing at men's group, is having those hard conversations where we open up as men and share the things that we're going through. And sometimes that's not easy. And sometimes it's not easy to have these conversations, especially on a podcast where 8 people are going to watch. It's hard to have those conversations, but we still have to have them. If you truly care for each other and care for your brother, like, have those conversations, because we're all going to be better from it.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't like you, we wouldn't even be doing this here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we wouldn't
have invited
have
me on
you
the
here.
podcast, yeah.
So don't ever mistaken our correction, no matter how
No,
passionate we get, with the fact that we don't want literally the best for you and what.
No, and
the best
I
way.
hope you guys know that I'm not like. Okay, I don't know if you're gonna want to keep this.
He is in his early 20s, so he does know more than all of us.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
With the whole working at $16 an hour, it may come off as maybe ignorant, or I'm better than
It's
that.
just something you're not interested in doing, and
Right.
that's okay. Like, I'm not going to go
just-
be a cashier for $16 an hour.
right. But like I
But
said,
then all of a sudden, if I say I'll pay $21 an hour and it's making more than you're making now, then you're like, well, then I'll consider
Yeah.
it.
yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough.
I don't see
You're
anything
exchanging
wrong
your
with that.
time for a dollar amount. You've come to a realization, and this is a good place to be in, is your time is worth something.
Mhm.
Okay. I always say my time is worth something. I'm not going to spend my time doing something that is not worth that dollar amount per hour.
Right.
And it's not a bad
'Cause
place to be.
I'm gonna say you guys almost lost me just when we were talking about that. I almost went to an Aldi for $15 an hour instead of working here for 5 hours building furniture,
5-ish hours.
5-ish hours.
we paid
But-
you
but
more
you
than
haven't-
what Aldi would pay.
No, I know.
Yeah, but you haven't built any furniture.
No, I
yet,
know.
so-
I was just saying, like, just to prove a point.
Oh, by the way, Andrew, when are you going to build? When are you going to build that next piece? We
Tuesday.
talked about it yesterday.
Tuesday.
Tell Michael.
Tuesday?
Tuesday. What time are you going to be here at the office? What time did you say? You said it yesterday.
So, thank you for coming to the podcast, everybody. I'll get back. No, I said 7:30.
All right. I'll be here.
And in your defense, you said between 7:30 and 8.
Mhm.
That's fine. I'll be here.
I will not be here because I have to take the kids to school, but I'll be in
So,
after.
so grinding gears real quick.
Let's do it. Downshifted, baby.
Tomorrow's a pretty big day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
It is.
excited. I'm thankful that you're allowing me to be a part of that day. So we'll get after
Wow.
getting hot, we'll get emotional.
Just dig that
Yeah.
knife in my back even deeper, Michael.
Well, you're a part of it too. You get
He's gonna stand there. and
I'm
just-
not because I'm going to be
just
in the
look
kids'
at me.
church.
Are you?
Yes.
so we're
Oh,
making
I'm not
a
even going
big,
to see it.
You can't
nobody's
even-
going to see this until after the announcement's made. So I can say this: the announcement of the kids building that you did the video for, you're not even going to get any recognition.
That's okay.
Wait, you can't even take like.
No, I got to serve.
You
and
can't
for the
take a
children.
minute to come look.
It's for the kids.
There's only one.
I'll
person.
see it on video.
There's
Yeah,
only
they-
one person there.
He'll
They
see
cast
it.
it.
He'll see it, but
That
he'll
like
be in the
it
other
hurts
building.
though. Like I'm genuinely
I
sad
know.
about that.
Welcome
Well-
to my world.
Why didn't you notify
You've
me?
known me longer than you know Michael.
Why don't we move the date then?
So,
Date of what?
no,
Do it next
not-
month.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I was thinking March. Madison's gonna be here in March.
No, tomorrow's
Darren
the
gonna be here
day.
tomorrow?
No, well, it doesn't matter. I'm baptizing him.
No,
it
but
doesn't
is
matter.
Darren gonna be here
Yes, Darren's coming back today.
It's just a general question.
Yeah,
We-
tomorrow, big day, big. We
It's-
got
Today you become a Christian.
you're being baptized. You're
No.
following the Lord in water
Oh,
baptism.
that's not how it works.
So
Yeah.
That's good.
so. What are your thoughts? How are you?
You nervous?
I'm excited, dude. I'm more excited than anything, especially with what I talked about last time at men's group. I'm ready to get in there, and I mean, you could hold me under for
You remember
5 minutes if you wanted.
You remember 2 Sundays ago when you asked me to pray for you, and then we were talking about like the stuff that we're going through, the
Yeah.
squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
I always call it the squeeze because it always feels like there's so much tension and pressure that you're under.
It was.
There's always something that comes out, and I talk about this all the time. There's always something good on the other side of that squeeze,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that a lot of what you've been going through is so that you can actually enjoy what you're about to go through in a good way, right?
Mhm.
Like you'll feel
makes it
all
more-
of that. You'll feel all of that stuff just melt away, and all of a sudden you'll be in the presence of the Lord.
Makes
and,
it more sentimental and
yeah, it makes you appreciate that moment and what it truly means. So every good thing that I've ever experienced, I've always kind of gone through a little squeeze before, and it's been nothing but good. That on the outcome side of things.
Awesome.
So
I'm excited. A lot of my friends are going to be showing up supposedly, and then maybe.
yeah, we'll be there.
No, you won't.
Yeah, you won't.
Oh yeah.
That generally makes me sad. Like, just take the kids on a field
Yeah,
trip.
It
Be like,
makes
hey,
me
you guys
sad
want to go
that
see
Michael and I can't dunk you together.
No, just take the kids on a field trip.
If I get that approved, will you skip kids' church?
No, that'd be weird to have 2 dudes dunk you.
So we used to.
You can just
And-
grab my feet and he hold my hands, and you just lower me into it and back out.
We can't do it the way that it's set up now, but when we used to be at the school, I did it with Darren, and we both, because we were on either side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it'd be awkward to have
Can't have your
somebody
back
on
to the stage
front
or back
side.
to the crowd.
No, I'm really excited. I'm ready to be born again. So ready. Because, I mean, I've been baptized once before.
How old were you?
7, 8, maybe. You know who did it?
John Eagles, brother.
John Eagles.
Yep.
Here's the one. And I believe I told you this, guys, that it was more of a like, I saw other people doing it. I was a kid. They got celebrated because they did it. I want to be celebrated. Oh, it's a good thing. Yeah, I want to do it. I didn't know what it meant though.
Sure.
Like people told me, but I didn't grasp it
Right.
fully.
So
grasp
now
it.
you're making the decision.
Right.
that-
Which makes me wonder: should we allow? Should we allow younger people to go through it with? Like, how do we know? Like, how do we know that they make sure that like?
you don't, but how do we know that you understand? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
I
think
get it.
that's
I think it's situational.
I guess.
I mean,
I guess.
Brax got baptized when he was 6 or 7,
Mm-hmm.
but he also read through his whole Bible twice over,
Mm-hmm.
understood it. I knew he knew.
That's awesome.
He wanted to do it. He understood why. He understood the reasons.
we don't at our church. I'm speaking for our church, that we don't obviously follow, like, I think Catholics do it.
Catholicisms do it at a certain age.
Yeah, like whenever they're real young and everything, and they drip the water on the forehead or
I think,
whatever.
Like, Lutherans do that too. Maybe
We the Lutherans are going to follow Catholicism very closely, but we we believe in the full submersion, okay, because that's the way that Jesus did it. So if we're following the Lord in water baptism, that's the phrase that we use, follow the Lord in water baptism. If we do that, then we want to do it the way that he did it. So, and we want to do it, he did it because it was his he did it because it was his decision, right? And so that's why we choose that you do it, because it's your decision, that you understand what it means. So to do it as a baby, they don't understand, they don't know. And where to draw that line, I don't think it would be appropriate necessarily to draw a line at an age. I think it is situational, and if a child, I don't want to take that from a child. Right. If they think they understand it and they think that they know it and they want to, now, are they going to want to do it again whenever they're 21 years old? Possibly. Yeah. But I think that it would be it's more important to let them do that, because they are trying to follow the Lord in water baptism, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You might have some of those that do it because they want to get clapped for and everything on stage, but that's between them and God. That has nothing to do with us. So I think as a church, if you're old enough to make your own decision, then we're going to go for it.
That's fair. I respect that.
So the next segment is going to be Andrew Asks, where Andrew asks us a question. Go ahead, Andrew, the intern.
Okay.
Nothing about socks for this one.
Nothing about socks.
No.
About
hurry up.
Your relationship with your spouses and allowing them. I don't want to say allowing, because that seems very.
No, it's right.
Okay.
No.
As the man, you put your
As a man.
No, but like even them to
Joking.
you, like showing, like watching things together, they may not be appropriate. So like.
Then why are you watching them?
No, but like.
Oh, okay.
My girlfriend brought this up, that she saw this Instagram video, this influencer talking about how she tries not to watch the show that she is like into around her husband, because there's girls in bikinis in it, and she doesn't deem appropriate for him to see that. Not saying that he's gonna do anything negative with it, but why tempt him, right? So I mean, as that, like, how do you guys?
I think this is a pretty easy one.
Okay. And
I think that, why is it okay for her to be watching it and not her husband? Just because she's a female and she's not gay, so it's okay. In the same manner, it's okay for me to watch dudes in either inappropriate clothing or something because I'm not attracted to them. It's okay for me, but not my wife. I don't think that's accurate, right? So I think that the first question isn't, should we be doing this or not? Like, is it appropriate, period? Is it appropriate? If it is, then both of them can watch it together. It's not a big deal. If it's not appropriate, neither of them should be watching it. And if you think that, well, I don't want my husband watching this, well, guess what? If you guys are in that kind of relationship, he's probably watching stuff worse than a couple of chicks in bikinis.
Well, and then the reason I bring this up is because on a previous podcast that unfortunately had some technical errors with, we talked about watching certain movies and things that don't go hand in hand with our beliefs or things that we should be okay with, but because we don't believe in what we're watching or really adhere to it, so what does it matter?
So there's two different things there. The first one is the conversation that we had before about it was a movie that you watched that he tried to essentially Frankenstein
his family
back to life, right? So they died in an accident or something.
Their conscience was alive, though.
Okay, so they try to do this, and that's not of God. That's not God's plan. So that I don't think there's anything necessarily inappropriate from a entertainment standpoint. Like, I can watch that and understand, like, hey, that was legit, and we can go back to the whole, if we take it that crazy literal, then we can't watch Disney, we can't watch, because none of that's real. None of that's, Mickey Mouse has magic, right?
Yeah.
So like you can't watch Mickey Mouse, you can't watch Star Wars, you can't watch any of that, right? So if you take that too literal, then you're not gonna be able to watch anything. The second part that you're trying to connect is the appropriateness of what you're viewing. So the allowing yourself to be set your eyes on things that you shouldn't, right? That you're going to lust over, that you're going to, whatever the case is, whether there's nudity or just scandalous clothing, bikinis that you don't think your husband should, be watching. Well, if you don't think he should be watching it, then you probably shouldn't be watching it either. I guess is at the end of the day, that's how, that's how it should work.
Because, like, I mean, me and Madison are very good at communicating, like, hey, I don't think this is appropriate. Like, hey, I don't think we should be watching this. There was a show that she used to be, like, really be into. She's like, oh, I want to watch this with you. Da, 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 da. We started watching it. I'm like, I'm not really into it. Like, I don't
What was the show?
Game of Thrones.
I think it was Jane the Virgin.
Hocus Pocus.
Have you guys heard of Jane the Virgin?
No,
The whole
good
pre-
Christians.
The whole premise of the show is this girl who's been saving herself till marriage. She goes into this doctor's office to get a checkup, and the doctor caught her girlfriend cheating on her, so she's all messed up. And then she accidentally
The doctor's a female?
yeah.
Caught her girlfriend?
Yep.
Okay.
She accidentally inseminates Jane. So now Jane has this baby.
How does she inseminate her?
How do you accidentally
Like
do that?
artificially
Yeah.
inseminated?
Yeah.
With like
Yeah.
however it works with like an egg and
Mm-hmm.
like is that in vitro or what is that?
I don't know. You
I don't
use
know.
like
I'm not-
turkey-based
Ask
or-
your wife. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about this stuff. But that's the whole premise of the show, right? She's supposed to be there for a checkup, and then there was another lady in a different.
This
Use.
show sounds like it has a boatload of drama.
Oh yeah, it's a drama
And
show.
even from a show, this is just me personally and my wife personally, even in like we don't tolerate drama from outside influences.
Yeah.
There was some drama at the church that happened a while back. Doesn't matter from who or why, but there was some drama that we were closer than we were liking to be. We weren't directly involved with it, but we were close enough to where it was like affecting our relationship in a way that we were talking about it, and it wasn't a bad way that it was affecting, but we ended up kind of getting caught up into it more than we would like.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to expose myself to any kind of drama in real life. So why would I watch a show that breeds that same kind of drama?
That's good. I like that.
That's my perspective and Darcy's perspective. Like, we got enough going on. We barely have enough time together as it is to, talk and spend time together. And
Or say watch a TV show.
and even sit and watch a TV show. I'd rather sit and talk to her on a date than sit there and watch a TV show together, because it's constantly, mama, daddy. Like, it's just always, you can never have an adult conversation when the
Right.
kids are around.
we don't really watch TV, movies, anything.
If we do, we're watching like kid shows.
Right. I mean, and this is.
But from like your perspective and Madison's perspective is I'm gonna go back to that. Like, what are you allowing yourself to consume? And I'll go back to, I made the Richard Suter the Richard Suter comment in one of our other episodes was allowing only letting the positive things into your life, because there is so much negative things that is going to make it to you, and why exacerbate it by adding that
More.
negative stuff, the drama, the stuff that is not of the Lord,
Yeah.
all the crap that's out there. Why exacerbate it when it's already just constantly there as an underlying tone? So, I mean, that's my perspective on it. I know for sure I would if it was Darcy and I would say I don't think you should be watching that.
I appreciate it, because that's been my thing, is like, she enjoys watching it. She's watched it when she was younger, and she explained to me like why she does enjoy it, and the way she explains it, because I'm not doing it justice, it does sound for a better reason.
I'm sure she's got reasons, and I'm
Right.
sure they're
And
for that. But
I tried to tell her, like, I don't feel comfortable with it. And she's okay with me not watching it, but you know, she's still going to. But I didn't voice it how you just did, and I think if I do, it might change her opinion on watching it. So I appreciate that.
Just follow me for more marital advice.
Yeah.
I got it all figured out.
I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Big grain.
It's
A silo of salt, not a grain. Take it with a silo of salt.
you are what you eat. You know,
Yeah.
like you are going to eventually be affected. Now, can we all sit down, watch an episode of this, and it affect our lives? Probably not. I mean,
No.
like if you know, but if that is what we are consuming day in and day out, that's how we're going to be. We're going to start acting like it. We're going to start, you know, the drama that Alan talks about. It's going to seep in, and it's crazy because you don't think about it that way. It might not be the same type of drama, right? But like you find that there's just a little bit more drama here and there that creeps in, and then it grows,
Yeah.
and it grows, and it grows. And
That's good.
so,
Man,
yeah.
I really appreciate that viewpoint on it now.
Yeah. The one nugget I will give up though of a conversation that we had before is while I'm excited and thankful and I'm so proud of you
Mm-hmm.
for waiting.
I like how you're what's it called? You're
Tickle slap.
Oreoing it.
It's a tickle slap.
There's nothing negative. It's funny though. The expectation though I think is slightly unrealistic of what will happen the day that you do get wed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, yeah, I already got it planned out. We're going to be doing it here. Then we're going to be doing it here. Then we're going to be doing it here. Then we're going to be doing it here.
It's gonna be an all-night event. Man.
No, it's
whoa.
not. You're going to, I told him, I was like, he's going to be doing it hit, and that's it. Like that. Like there's no here and here and here and here and here.
I plan on taking an energy drink right before. It's gonna be a blast, dude. Put on some Marvin Gaye, get it on.
Oh boy, that's too many details already.
You need the Lonely Island. I just had sex.
Just don't turn the air conditioner on. Leave it off, because as soon as it starts blowing, you're done for.
What?
You ever heard of the expression "the wind blows"?
Uh-uh.
When the wind blows.
I mean, I've heard where the wind blows, but I don't get it in this reference.
Yeah, just you're not gonna be doing it in all those spots, is what Michael is really saying.
I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Well,
I
do.
I don't need details. Just tell
Kudos
me
to
yes
you.
or no.
I
Yep.
will.
Yep.
I'll come in and I'll be like, "Hey guys, so it went exactly like you said," or I'll come and be like,
Proved you wrong.
"I did it."
Well, hopefully in 4 years from now that'll be
And
the
when
case.
we go over to
4
his
ye- 4
place, I'm not
years.
touching any surface if he comes back and
No.
says that he proved us wrong.
Yeah.
So
Well,
4 years from now, he could tell us about that
Yep.
day.
yeah,
4 years.
Yeah.
That's the timeline you guys set for me.
well, because you need several years to before you can get engaged, and then a couple of years before.
Yeah. So we're getting married next month when I go to see her in February.
Yeah, that's
Are you?
right.
What are you gonna do?
Go to the courthouse.
Did you talk to us about this?
No,
So
You
let's-
talked to Edward, didn't you?
I did not talk to
So-
him.
Did you get Edward's permission?
He's not my dad yet.
yet.
Not my stepdad yet.
So let me ask you this: why?
Why next month?
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of joking, but I mean,
Okay.
there's been
'Cause you
talks.
can't bear it anymore.
No, there has been talks about like.
Can't take it anymore.
No, there's been talks about. I mean, yeah, we want to. I mean, if we could right now, if everything was perfect, yeah, we'd absolutely do it if we could. But
Why don't you tell her to quit the military and go get a job at Buc-ee's,
that's what I said.
and then you guys would be good. There's
I
a Buc-ee's
said-
in Crossville.
I said, you quit, come back here. I'll go get 4 jobs. We'll be fine. No,
I don't think you're ready for 4 jobs.
I'm kind of working 3, kind of.
What 3?
BCR, working here.
What's BCR?
Best Choice Roofing.
Oh, okay.
Come check
Shout
us
out. You haven't worked for them a day in your life, but okay.
No, he
You got
paid-
training.
He got paid minimum wage to go to training.
You got paid training.
Hey.
You're not working
This is
anything
the
yet.
start- this is the
okay.
start.
So you have a half a job there.
Yeah, and then Rhino Staging.
But
And what's your
he
third
counted
one?
this as a job, which
Well, I asked you guys.
What's the third job though?
I asked you guys, does this count as a job? And you said
The
yes.
podcast?
No. Building the furniture.
Oh yeah, no, you should treat that like a job. I told him yesterday.
he
it's a
should
job.
absolutely treat it like a job. But he
You haven't treated it like a
Hasn't.
job yet because you haven't shown up on time. But that's for another discussion. Or we've already had that discussion.
No,
That
but,
horse is laying right here in the corner, just dead, just beat to pulp.
just- yeah,
So,
you're still
go
going
kick
at
it
it.
one more time.
give it one little nudge.
No, but yeah, we have had serious talks about like we wanna get married, and you ask why. I mean, we try to lead our decisions both through God. We both have prayed about it, and we just feel very certain in it. I don't know if that's
It's a sure thing, 100%.
I don't know if that's a good reason, but I mean, we both believe once we're married, we're bound for life.
I will admit in the
There's no backing out. There's no getting a divorce. There's none of that.
well, every marriage starts that way. Nobody plans on divorcing each other.
right. No, I understand.
I will say in the 2 minutes and 27 seconds that I did meet Madison,
Mhm.
I think she's a great girl.
Yeah.
Very respectful. You could tell she's got a good head on her shoulders. So I will say that.
no,
but like I
but
said,
We
that was
kind of like
all-
her more than we like you.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
She probably shows up to work on time.
I bet.
She
Being in the
she
military
has
and all.
to. She has to.
So do you. You have to. Your life depends on it.
I don't know if my life depends on building furniture.
Well,
It
your
does
life
show-
depends on every job that you're doing. All three of your jobs,
Yeah.
your life depends on it.
No.
Move out of your mom's house.
Then it will
Go get an
depend on-
apartment, and
Yeah.
we'll see how much those things
Well,
start.
I
meaning
will
to
say
you.
this though, that you talked about. Well, I don't need that. I got other opportunities. Or something. But you with those other opportunities, you still need the dependence of your mother's home and things. Now, I'm not saying. I'm not harping you or giving you a hard time because you live with your mom, because
No,
I would have lived
am
with.
So
I
happy to do it.
I lived at home till I was 20,
I love living
Four.
with my parents. Like
So
I
I got
lived
2
with
23, 22.
I lived with them till I was 20, and then they have recently moved in with me. But I would say, if you have the opportunity, that's great.
Save your
But
money, though.
understand that you are dependent on that right now.
Absolutely, I do understand.
Like
that.
if you do not have the ability to go out and get your own place and all this and pay for it and everything like that, you have that dependence. So there is a little bit more of an urgency and of a,
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. Oh, and what I mean by like, I don't need to, is because I really don't need to in my situation.
Sure.
I am blessed enough to be able to have a loving mother who says, yes, you can stay with me, and I will help support you until you can get on your feet.
a loving grandmother that lets you live in her house.
yeah, technically your
Wow.
grandmother's house.
Yeah. That's she has a loving grandson that takes care of her, so I feel like it evens out. But
You do take care of your family.
That's true.
I commend you for how
Thank
much
you.
you do for your mom and grandma.
thank you. I definitely try.
But that's part of the trade-off, right? Like, well, I guess it's not a trade-off, but
A little bit, but to
So-
each their own. But
So what do you? So I'm not here to argue with the Holy Spirit, right? If the Holy Spirit told you to do something, then that is 100. It doesn't matter what Michael or Alan says. Like the Holy Spirit is absolutely who you should follow.
right.
The discernment in knowing if it's the Holy Spirit or not. That's what I implore you to make sure that you are.
Being cautious of.
Being cautious of and,
Yeah.
and making sure that you have that relationship with the Holy Spirit so that you understand when he's speaking to you versus when you're receiving these other feelings and emotions.
I will say
outside
this.
of that.
I'll say this. I 100% agree with you. And when I made the comment of if we could get married today, we would. Realistically, I probably would not. The desire is there, yes. Yes, I desire to want to marry this girl. I would love to more than anything. But like you said, I have to make sure that the Holy Spirit is guiding us in that and that I'm discerning that correctly. And that this is, because I mean, I even made the comment to her, I think yesterday, because she asked me, she's like, why do you go to the gym? Like, who do you go to the gym for? And I said, well, me primarily, and then secondly,
And then there's this chick. You should see her.
You should see her deadlift. You should see her feet when she takes her shoes off.
Takes those socks off to deadlift.
oh my.
Those phalanges popping.
No, but I said
I'm gonna look up
primarily
phalanges.
me, but then my future wife and kids. Now I didn't say, but for you and our future kids. Now I've said stuff like that in the past, but that time I said my future wife and kids, and she kind of got like real quiet, and then she was like, "Is that gonna be me?" I said, "Oh, I sure hope so." I said, "That's that's I pray that that's what God put you in my life for. I don't see any other reason why He would, but I'm not all seeing and I'm not all knowing, so I'm just hoping." And I was like, if I can't make that decision yet. So anyway, so yeah, marriage, me and Madison, it's on the table for sometime this year, hopefully.
Can I officiate the wedding?
I don't know.
Can I officiate the wedding?
You'll probably have kids' church, so
I'll probably have kids' church. Yeah. Those are my kids.
No,
Can you legally officiate a wedding?
what I do want to
I mean,
do.
I can go online and take a course.
What I do want to do is have like a pre-marriage marital counseling with her.
I thought that's what we were doing here. With her, bring her.
Yeah, bring her.
Yeah,
Madison, tune in.
just have
She's
her
one of the
watch
And
this.
then
She's
make
one of the
comments.
8 elites.
She'll put comments in. And, no,
All right, well
Whatever
that's
we're
it
gonna call
for
it.
today.
Sun's
Yeah,
coming up. It's been
coffee's
up for a
getting
little
cold. Sun's coming up. So
Next Saturday, 8 a.m. Right?
while. Well, no.
5:30.
5:30.
Bring the coffee.
There should be no text sent. What time are you coming on Tuesday?
7:30 to 8.
All right. What time are you?
7:30 to start. Now it's 7:30.
Well, you
What, you're the
Next
one that
time,
actually gave him
I
that.
know. But next time it's gonna be.
Well, it was 9, right? We
I'll
said
take-
9.
no, I'll-
Check the camera.
Well, I
check
was
the
up late last
videos.
night with.
I'll
my
text you guys
buddies.
on Tuesday morning.
No, you'll get here at
No,
7:30.
I
I'll
don't
text
want
you
to
guys on
text.
Tuesday morning.
Don't
so-
text us.
I don't want to text. I want to see your
I wanna
face.
see
What about
here.
communication?
You bring the
No, that
coffee.
is the
We will
communication.
communicate with us in person. Bring the coffee.
Yeah. So here's your coffee, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
I need you to go get
I'm not
a
bringing
Speedy
coffee.
Rewards card, so that these coffees are only $1.68 a piece.
I think I'm good.
And
You got to pay for them out of your pocket, though.
Yep.
I think I'm good.
Why? You're driving your own car for this best choice job. They didn't give you a work truck.
Yeah.
I think it shows better if you show up in a work truck.
It
Well, I'm gonna
shows
be
better
dri-
if you show up with coffee
I'm
too.
gonna
Let me
bring-
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If in the event a person says, "Yeah, get on my roof," where's your ladder going to come from?
So that's what I'm gonna get is like I don't know what they're called, but
A little
it-
giant?
yeah, I guess I don't know. There's
Yeah.
like they have these foldable.
What if you got to
ladders
get on a 2-story house?
Yeah, I was gonna say
with
you're not
with a
getting
tall,
on my
tall
roof.
ladder?
with a tall ladder?
Yeah.
Then if they allow me to, then I'm gonna have to just set up a soft set or ask somebody who's in the area to come bring the ladder.
So you're not expected to carry your own ladder?
I mean, not right off the bat. I mean, they told us to get a ladder, yeah, but
They have those ladders. My inspectors use them, and they fold down to about yay high. Maybe
that's
2
what I was gonna
feet,
say.
and it telescopes.
Yeah, it's telescoping.
That's what I was gonna get. I
Yeah,
mean, that could fit in my trunk of the car, but I plan on driving my grandfather's truck.
we'll sell you
Look,
one. We'll sell you a telescoping ladder real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, cheap, real cheap.
I don't know if I
For
want
you.
cheap.
Well, no, quality, good
Quality
price.
great,
Yeah.
price cheap because family discount.
Yeah, we'll give you the
Family
family discount.
Whatever price you give me, I'm gonna go look online and make sure you're discounting me.
I
Oh, it'll be
100% that
less.
it'll be less.
100%. Guarantee it'll be less than
1
what you
cent.
can find online.
1 cent less, huh?
It doesn't matter how
No.
much. It'll probably be significantly
Probably be half the
less.
price
Yeah,
what you can find online.
Why is that?
because
We're connected.
we buy direct.
Okay. We buy direct.
We go direct to consumer
Okay.
for a small fee,
I'll take you up on that.
transactional fee.
But we're excited for you.
I'm excited. I think like I said, my
I'm
goal-
excited to watch you get baptized on a 55-inch screen, standing next to some kid picking their nose, eating their boogers.
Hey,
We
man,
don't-
You decided to do the Lord's work.
We
so
don't
on
have yeah. Well, I am not called to work with the kids department.
Neither was I, but somehow I'm there.
Your wife told you were called?
No, Darren. My bad. No, it's fun. I really enjoy it. It probably helps that my kids are in there too, but
Yeah.
we've been having some fun with them.
That is...
I'm getting to a point where I joke with them like they're my kids, and they're like they don't know how to take jokes. And sometimes they're like laughing. I can make them laugh. Actually, pretty good with kids.
One more thought about roofs. Also the neighborhoods that we're talking about, the roofs aren't going to be as tall. There's a lot of ranch
ranchers.
styles. There's even the 2-story homes.
Probably
you
just
can
pull
still
up, do a muscle up, get up there.
right. Whereas like my house, you're not getting on my roof even with one of those telescoping ladders. You're not going to be tall enough. Like
That's when I bring out like some of my coworkers to help because they've got the equipment.
Do they get part of your sale?
No.
then why would they help you?
Who are your coworkers? What do they get out of the deal?
I don't know, referrals.
Is that what they said in the training? If you don't have a ladder, call up Jose and he'll bring you a ladder.
Yeah, they're like, and I see it a lot in the chat. Or like, is anybody in the whatever area and like, there's a lot of group working that like gets done. So like, they'll ride around in one truck together to save gas, and they'll just like, all right, one person gets this house, one person gets this house.
Yeah.
Because that's what.
Nothing. Keep going. Keep going.
I want to know what you're laughing about.
Nothing.
Obviously not nothing.
I don't want to be racist on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
I was waiting for it.
bunch of people jumping out of this vehicle.
10 people jumping out of
That
a
was 4
truck.
but okay.
We'll say people. The great people.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
Great at roofing,
it's
concrete, whatever you need.
everybody wants everybody to succeed, so
It's good, brother.
It's
good company culture.
That's the biggest load of horse crap. It's still a cutthroat industry of sales.
yeah.
You get nothing if you don't make a sale. Real estate, we say the same thing. Man, everybody at my brokerage, we're a team. We work together.
Meanwhile, they're saying that they're sawing your leg.
Yeah, because they don't care. Because they're not making a penny unless they sell something, or they try to get in on the deal, and then a percentage of your sale goes to them.
Well, it might work that way. I don't know. I haven't even done my first day yet, so maybe I've been hoodwinked. Don't even know it yet.
Just don't have the tallest ladder. Because then you'll be called on all the time.
Well, then if I get
He can't have the tallest ladder.
I could if I use my grandfather's truck.
Doesn't your mom drive that? Did
No.
your mom still have her Prius?
Yeah.
I never see her driving it.
Did your grandfather's truck that gold one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that said, thanks for watching all 8 of
Thanks
you.
for
We
Hey,
really appreciate it.
make sure you
Mom, Dad,
smash and
wives,
like and
smash each other.
the like button.
Like button.
the
Smash
follow.
the subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribe. That's
This
the one.
is
Be sure to watch
Yeah,
to the
watch
end.
this is rough.
And I love you, Dad.
Love you, Dad.